Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our Thursday night trainings, well, night in Australia. If you are anywhere else in the world, pop, things in the comments. If you are watching a replay, we would love to know where you're from, and where you're watching from. Tonight, we are going to have a bit of a different session. So no slides today, only your presence. And we are talking about expanding consciousness with Healy. So this is a bit out of your body experience, but trying to integrate that into the physical body. As we know, physical vessel is important. We are still living in a 3D environment, and integrating our full selves of consciousness, which I tend to call essence. Somebody calls them higher self. We can have all these different words around it, but in essence, it's only energy in our own full expansion. So tonight we have an amazing guest. I am so honored, as I said before, honored that he said yes. It's quite late at his location. He's from Hawaii. And he did say to me that that he is a bit of a vampire. So he works through the night. So which is ideal for me to actually have him on this beautiful session with me. So Derek Nakamura, thank you for joining me tonight. I am so honored to have you. And I love discussing things with you. And the program I've tested with that, actually he gifted me a completely new program. I was just so blessed. Like, honestly, I was like, really? You can gift me that? I was like, oh my God, I love this. Is it called, how does it, Hildebrand? Is it Hildebrand?
It's called Hildegard letters.
Hildegard letters. Okay. You will tell more about the program, but I would love to tell everyone my experience with your program. And I was literally sharing this before with Derek. He gifted me this program, and this was a while back. And my partner and I were driving to one of the events, which was mind blowing for me. It was a whole weekend event. And we were driving in the car, and I was like, what program should I do? I'm gonna do any of those. I'm gonna test new ones. So I'm just gonna try Derek's one. So I did put my program on, just on coil, and all of a sudden, I'm not thinking of anything. 5 minutes in, before I actually started the program, I was a bit tired. It was like a whole week of weekend, like weekend was full with the event. And I was a bit tired, and I'm like, I don't know how day will go. 5 minutes into the program was like focused, motivated. This is going to be a great day. I had like full on energy. And all of a sudden, at the same time, my partner starts yawning, like full on yawning. We were like looking at each other because my partner actually works with energy as well. And he was like, is this your energy or is it my energy? What am I transforming here? Like, who is it? And what are we doing? And then he literally said, do you have anything on Healy? I was like, oh, yes, I have something on Healy. And we actually had this complete polar opposite experience. And normally that happens. That happens when, I'm actually processing certain things, or I'm shifting energy, and then he joins in because we are quite connected. So this was an amazing experience. And Derek will tell you what the program is, and what's included, but it's like A to Z letters. Like, seriously, the frequencies in there are beautiful foundational frequencies for so many things. So I will give you the floor, Derek, to share the program before I actually introduce you with all the details, just to tell everyone what this is, because it's an amazing program. And then we're going to dive into the consciousness, because I'm really excited to do that.
Well, aloha, everyone. It's just exciting to be here and be able to share with people from all over the world. And I know my purpose here on Earth is to help raise the vibration of the planet. So it's wonderful. And thank you again for having me. The program she mentioned is called Hildegard Letters, and it's about 24 of them. I know we have 26 letters, but each has a desired state, and then I have a desired state description, and it explains how we achieve to get to the desired state. And that's how Healy programs work. they kind of get into your, it affects your consciousness. I know that's what we're going to talk about. So definitely, I know we were hearing a Petra's story. Um, it it's a vehicle. I call it a vehicle to get, let's say, an affirmation or an attention into our consciousness. And the creator, Marcus Schmieke, I'm sure you heard about him. He was a monk for about 13 years, and then he has his background and his science background. So he put the two together to help us connect to ourselves, which is consciousness. And the programs, the one she's talking about, has all these different items that help you get there. There's a big list. It's hard. There's just so much in there, and it was one of those it's 3 o'clock in the morning things that just popped in my head. So I found a list of items, and I it's put it together, and it came out, and Petra was the first guinea pig, and what amazing feedback. I just heard it, maybe, and I think she told me a little bit, but now it just was wow. So I have it. It's not on the website yet because it was, the guinea pig thing, but now it's definitely going to be one of the programs that's available. So,
Yeah, it's big. It's definitely big, and I love that it has not only the consciousness, like the emotions and the thoughts in there. Like, I can actually share this in the group, guys. The whole list. That Derek, are you okay if I share that?
you
Yeah.
can.
So I'll share this in the group so you can see it's an amazing list of things, and it actually works on different meridians, and it's like it has all these
Mhm.
things in there that combines the emotional, the mental, the energetic patterns. Like it's mind blowing. So I really wanted to share this because this is something that I was gifted from Derek, and it was just beautiful blessing that I received, and I'm really, really grateful to have that. So now that we kind of gave you a bit of information of what Derek does and who he is, but I wanted to introduce you properly. So Derek is, of course, working with Healy, but he is primarily a time waver practitioner, and he really does work with consciousness. He works with clients. He also works as a massage therapist in based in Hawaii. And from what I know from him is that your wife was the one that actually inspired you to start this frequency journey, to
Yes.
actually enter into this world of time waver and later on Healy, right? And
Hmm.
you met with Marcus Schmieke in Germany before actually Healy was born, when it was still in an embryo stage. And he has been working with what time waver since 2008, 10.
2010. Hmm.
2010, yeah. So he's been doing this work for a long, long time. So he has a lot of experiences on himself as well as with clients. So I'm really, really excited to have him here tonight and share his own experiences, thoughts, and views, as well as his clients' experiences. We are going to touch
Hmm.
on today a bit on the programs of the bioenergetic support and bioenergetic defense, which I do feel when we are expanding our consciousness, and this is Derek will give his insights here as well. My view is that supporting our energetic field and the structure of the energetic field around us, our Taurus field, while we are expanding is such a crucial thing because we are entering a completely different world than it's a physical world, and it's layered. Yeah, we've been talking about the layers of energy, and our mind, our 3D mind, the conscious mind that we are expanding does not yet see everything that's in energy. And when we are expanding our consciousness, we can be met with certain things that are challenging. So it's really important to actually keep your energy healthy, keep your energy clean. And there's a lot of programs you can support yourself with, and we're going to look at some of them. But Derek will actually give you other recommendation as well of how to access those things within yourself if this is what you would like to do. But before we go into programs, I would love you to share a bit about your story, how you actually, went from a completely opposite to now like living in your truth and in your frequency. Because I feel like, when we are on the other side, I feel like a lot of people only see that side, right? They don't see the opposite side of what we needed to go through in order to come to this where we are now. So, whatever you feel like sharing, please do. But I would really love you to share your journey towards frequency.
Okay, well, let's see, where do we start? Let's Well, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. My parents are both from Hawaii, so my roots are here, but they both moved to LA when they were young, and that's where I grew up. And I grew up in an area called East LA, which isn't the best place to grow up.
Mm.
So I did a lot of things that people normally don't do, I guess. When I was 13, I was already experimenting with drugs, alcohol, tobacco. 14, I was in jail. I did things stealing and everything you could think of that was, you know, things that you're not supposed to do. Um, I did have my transformation when I moved to Hawaii in 1994. Though, what happened was my parents told me, "Why don't you move to Hawaii, and when we retire, we'll move there." And at that time I was 30, I think 32, and I was a drug addict and drug dealer, and my life was just on the dark side. And I said, okay, I'll give that a try. So I moved to Hawaii, and a year went by. My mom passed away. Then a year and a half later, my dad passed away, and I said, well, I'm not going back to LA. So um, I stayed here, and I had a few different jobs, and things happened, and one of them I just quit, and I go, I'm going to go to massage school. So in the year 1999, I went to massage school, and I learned way more than massage, and it was just an amazing journey. And my transformation started, and I had all these different experiences. Actually, one of them was an out of body experience, and I got to meet my parents that both passed away. And during a meditation, I was lying down, and I was ended up flying, and I'm going, wow, this is kind of cool. And I talked with them, and it's a telepathic type of communication. And they said, we love you. I said, oh, I love you too, and you're doing the right thing. And then I said, oh, thank you. And then I go, I'm going to fly around a little more because this is really fun. And flying around, and it ended up being about an hour and a half, but it felt like 10 minutes. So when we're talking about, there's another thing where, talk about expanded consciousness and that kind of thing, that world, there's no time. There's no, you think something and you're there. That's how it worked. So that was an amazing experience. Another one I had was a spirit attached to me, and I ended up um, releasing it and sending it to the light. It attached to me when I was doing a massage, and something felt really heavy. So I, what is this? And it was a spirit. So I talked to the spirit. He was lost, and he just died, and he was looking for his family. So I said, "Do you see the light?" And he said, "Yeah." I go, "Well, let's go to the light." And I got to release the spirit to the light. That was another amazing thing. And then I healed myself with I needed stitches because I cut my knee open, but I didn't want to go to the hospital. So I asked for universe energy to come through me and help heal myself. And my hands got like fire, and this light was coming through my crown chakra. And I just put it around my knee, and within 10 minutes, I was sweating, it was hot, and I fell asleep the next morning. It looked like I had stitches. So these things happen, and I can say they're real. And then, I got into my wife. I married my wife, and she gave me that task, and ended up finding bioresonance devices. One was one from the UK, and then we got into Time Waver in 2010, and it's just been an amazing journey. Uh, I know my purpose here is to help raise the vibration of the planet. So everything that I do now is, yeah. pretty much that's what I like to do, and it's definitely working, as you can hear from Petra. Uh, that's what. So it's just been a blessing. Um, and that's kind of my little bit of transformation. So I got to see, like he said, two sides, and that makes a difference. Um, I did have to release a lot of things. What happened was, one of the reasons being on drugs was to kind of hide from all the guilt. And I did talk to God, and God said, "You're not a bad person, but if you forgive yourself, you'll be free." So all the bad things I did, I was holding on to them, and I was just dragging. And when I heard that from God, I went to this special place in Hawaii called the Place of Forgiveness. And I went there, and that's when tears were coming out, and all the people that I hurt were there, and they were hugging me, telling me, "We forgive you." And that was amazing. And now the rocks are gone, and they're not going to come back. And I'm free, and helping everybody else to be free too. I don't call myself a healer, but I say I have a key to help you heal yourself. And
Yes,
through Healy, through Time Waver, through my story, I mean, everything's a frequency. My story is a frequency. Um, and we get to play with those with our Heelys. So, yeah.
definitely. Oh my God, I love these stories. Like for me, this is
Mhm.
just magic listening to this. I feel like when we share stories among each other, there's resonance happening among us, no matter where we are, because we all resonate with specific parts of our stories because we see ourselves in others, and that's how we connect through the field. And amazing. Thank you for sharing that because I feel like this is a part of consciousness of where we are going. But I would love to know your view. What does expanding consciousness means to you personally? And why do you think why is it so important for people to actually focus on that?
Well, for me, expanding consciousness has been, the experiences that I had, those were an expansion of consciousness because conscious, we figure it's like life or everyday things. We're conscious if you kind of break it down. But to have higher consciousness means you break out of that and you understand um, there's more to than what this, like you said, 3D stuff. We're we're our spirits, and we have that ability, and we have ability to create also. The programs that I got to tell you that Hildegard letters. Um, it, Usually we use frequencies, and then we have a description of what the frequency does. Well, that one was it's a it's a intention, and then it's the description of what the intention's supposed to do. And when I heard her feedback, I got goosebumps because yeah, we're doing it. It's creating what we want, and we do that. We can do that. So just know that. I think everybody needs to understand that that is possible, and yeah, just give that message about higher consciousness. So, being able to tap into that definitely is something that we want to do.
How do you feel that frequency, like either Healy time wave frequencies that, are coming from the machines and we are, intertwining now the combination of the machines and our intentions, right? Now we're kind of
Mhm.
combining certain things together. So things are kind of merging, which is kind of Aquarian age anyway. But how do you feel frequencies can actually help us to, either integrate that expansion of consciousness or help us actually expand our consciousness in a way?
Mhm. Well, everything's a frequency, so everything has a vibration. So it's almost like a note, a musical note, and we're just a big piano with a bunch of strings. And sometimes our strings get out of tune. So what we do is we use the frequencies, and I have the correct frequency or the correct note to balance different issues or whatever we want to work on. From that, it tunes our cells and our cells and our mind, body, spirit, all of that. It tunes that. It harmonizes, optimizes, tunes it, normalizes. We have all these different terms that we use, but it's just the correct frequency tuning our cells to where they're back in tune again. Because sometimes we're out of tune and we just need tuning up. So the frequencies have a purpose, and that's what we use. And Healy helps us do that. It's that vehicle that gives us either a little microcurrent with that frequency or an intention, as you know, the programs that I work with. And then also we have the coil, and there's a magnetic resonator. If you didn't know, there's a magnetic resonator inside of our Healys, which means we don't need to use the wires. We can just put it on our body and have it affect us in a magnetic uh, kind of field. And the coil does, they said it's kind of a toroidal field, and that also gives us the frequencies in that manner, so we don't have to hook up to wires. Really convenient. My experience though without wires is it works really well with emotional, psychological, chakra, energetic type of programs. If you have physical things, I would stick with the wires and then maybe with the coil. You can keep using the coil because it's kind of like I say it's like a cream that you put on, and the cream will eventually get there. But if you use the frequencies, you're getting blasted. So it's like that. So that's how I explain coil, wires, no wires. That's how it works. And
That's
and
always there's always thousand questions around that because there's
it
too many
is, I know, I
applications.
get it. But that's
Um,
I did get to sorry, I got to meet with Marcus, and it was a meeting with some doctors, about 24 of us. And this was before the first Healy conference in Florida. And we got to connect, and the same thing as what he said. So this is not just me, but it's from the creator of the device, that the vehicle that we're using.
Of course, and this is such a new thing, right? We are just discovering this field and this area of energy. There's so many different applications within the energetic field. Like it's different applications of how we do things on a physical, right? We take a shower, we take a bath, we go for swim for in the ocean, right? It's all water, but it's just a different effect on the body, right? And it's really something. It's for a lot of people, it's kind of still hard to grasp the concepts because our brains are still expanding. We are not there to actually comprehend that. And that is what expansion of consciousness is all about to me as well. It's finding different ways of how we can do things, how can we experience things, and how can we experience ourselves. What about
Mhm.
intention? You mentioned intention in between. How big or how important do you think intention is when using frequency? Like even Healy Pink programs or Healy resonance programs. What do you think about that?
Well, one of my teachers is in Hawaii. He practices Lao Lapa'au, which is plant medicine, and I kind of use that uh, connection. What you need to do is you need to give the frequency direction and what you want it to do, and that gives it its power, and it just makes it way more effective. Because I have people that say, "Oh, that program really isn't doing anything for me." Then I'll say, "Did you do the affirmations?" Because I provide affirmations with most of the programs, all of them actually. And they said, "Well, what are those?" And then I have another thing that I put out, what are affirmations, and get the feedback later. Go, it works better now. So that's like a kickstart to get our subconscious mind to get get going. And I call it the snowball effect. I know they call, what is it? Um, see, I make up my own words. It's the
Welcome
snowball
to the
effect.
club.
I can't think of the word they use, all these people, because, you know, someone, I know I'm getting off topic, but someone said, "Oh, you sound like Joe Dispenza." And I didn't even know who that guy was. I had to look it up. But it's just, you know, tricking the mind, or not tricking it, but just getting the subconscious mind jump started. And intentions do that. And when I send a program, I'll have this little thing that I say, you know, if you don't use them, it's like getting in a taxi and not telling the driver where you want to go. You're just sitting there. So intentions are very important, and I I always say I recommend that you use or make up your own of whatever you want, because you know those are just some samples, but you make up your own, and like that program, you we create what we think.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that. And I feel like
Mhm.
I wanted to bring this out, especially in a conversation where we talk about expansion of consciousness. With Healy, majority of people, and a lot of you listening, right? I've been saying this over and over and over again, and I get it. Our 3D brain needs repetition, and it's really crucial. Like in my experience, anything we do without intention and focus has no outcome. Yeah, it's literally like you said, we are literally driving blind. Yeah, you don't know
Mhm.
where you're going to hit a rock, you don't know where you're going, you can't literally turn around or left or right because you don't actually know where you're going. And anything that we do with intention has more, at least in my view and my experience, an expansive effect. And I
Mhm.
always say when people ask me, but I apply chakras and I apply aura, and I'm asking them, at least clients I work with, is are you actually meditating while you're applying that? Are you actually setting an intention and visualizing what is that you would like to have with this? Because otherwise, you're literally just throwing mud into the wall, and if it sticks, it sticks. It doesn't, it doesn't, right? So it's a really interesting perception. So make sure, like I always say, and I love that you confirm that. Make sure you use intention because that's what quantum
Mhm.
field is all about. Perfect. So let's move into the programs of bioenergetic support and defense. I would love to know let me just share. Let's look at our bioenergetic. Let me just go and share this one so you can have this on your screen. So let's look at
Okay, great.
that. Okay, dokie. Everybody can see my bioenergetic support. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Probably, yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what is your view when we're looking at expanding our consciousness? Um, what is your view about bioenergetic support programs? I know this one is missing, so which is now the
Cosmic, there's
cosmic
cosmic
growth.
growth.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So what is
Well, you
what is
know,
your view?
well, they don't really tell me what's in them, so I just you use them and you feel them, and
Yep.
it makes sense. I mean, coherence. You know, where what did I write? I wrote something down, but it helps balance and harmonize our relationship between the outside world and our inner world, and it helps our mind, body, and spirit. I mean, coherence. That's what it. You know, there's kind of a meaning to it, but I put my own thing. That's what it does. It helps our mind, body, spirit just connect with inner and outer, and you know, our higher consciousness, and our world. That's the inner world is our higher consciousness. So,
How do you feel that expresses on a physical level, like for you, your personal experience or your clients' experiences?
just a feeling of peacefulness, and you know, could be grounding. It could be most of the time. It's just I just feel relaxed and I don't worry as much. You know, when you're coherence, when everything's balanced. Um,
Yeah,
that's what I get from people telling me about coherence. And
yeah. I
I
love
have, you know, we didn't talk about, but I have these frequencies too that get you there also.
there's plenty of them for sure. We
Yeah.
can choose so many, right?
Hmm.
It's something that it's kind of getting harder and harder now that so many frequencies are coming out. But I do feel like I got
Hmm.
this, when you read the aura scans, and I love the statement in there for the crown chakra. I think it's a crown one, and it says, the feeling that life is carrying you. That feeling, that's kind of the feeling I feel that represents
Hmm.
the coherence, the trust in the unknown and the support at the back. And I also feel like with coherence is that my channels open. So I feel like information flows faster. I respond to
Hmm.
things faster. I get insights faster. Like even when I'm really in alignment and I meet someone, I can mind you, I can read energies, but for me, I can get the right information at the right time, like snippets. I don't have to sift through everything. I just have this aligned connection. And that I feel like the more we are in coherence, I don't know what your view is this, but the more we are in coherence, the easier it is to access our own true self and who we
Yes.
are.
Hmm. Exactly. So, what the frequencies do is that there's three different modes. So, there's something called real time, a resonance, and indications. And what we do is all the programs, I'm very sure that they start with that. Real time is about 9 minutes of warming up your cells, and it gives you what you need. The Healy reads you in 10 seconds, and then it does a quick read and gives you another frequency. And it does that for about 9 minutes. The next maybe 6 minutes or so is something called resonance, which it picks three frequencies that you need help with. It wants to clear those out. So I call that cleaning the house. First, we warm up the cells, we clean the house, and then the indications are exact frequencies of what we want to address the issues. So bioenergetic support, I use that one when I feel like a little bit catching cold because they told me what was in that one, and it's got to do with some viruses and our immune system. And so that one really helps. Whenever I get the sniffles, I'll run that all day, three, four, five, 6 times. And then at the end of the night, I'm better. It didn't itch. So the bioenergetic support works that way with virus frequencies and immune system getting that boosted. So that's how the bioenergetic support. And then now cosmic growth, I guess that one is more cosmic.
Yeah, it is cosmic.
If you want to be cosmic, you know, uh, yeah. And again, it's just how you mentioned how you're just more clear. So, like I said, it's just warming them up, cleaning house, and then getting everything in tune so that now everything is easier to absorb.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
and that's how these frequencies work. We're tuning your strings,
I agree. Like I
all of them.
remember bioenergetic
Mhm,
support for me as well, if I'm feeling like a bit under the weather, I run that too.
mhm,
But I also run bioenergetic support when I feel like emotionally I'm under the weather and I feel like my
mhm,
energy is a bit low and I need to go out among people, for example. Like I run bioenergetic support to strengthen my energy, to strengthen my bubble. So I don't
mhm,
take on other people's emotions. I don't take on certain things that vibrate the same. So I protect myself in that way. It's just not protecting in a way building fortresses, but protecting in a way I'm strengthening my energy in order to actually hold the space for myself. And I feel like the cosmic growth, when I actually tested it the first time, oh my freaking God, sorry for the French, but um, the first week when I actually started testing the cosmic growth, the downloads, like the information from what we call Akashic records, or I call it matrix of our libraries, I had visions and downloads of dreams and like literally a full on consciousness expansion. Like I was feeling like I
mhm.
was being stretched energetically, like moving myself into the space. So, but that's me, that's my experience, right? But I have known some of my team and my clients. also said that they had more vivid dreams and they were actually more in tune with their intuition when they were using the cosmic growth. So there's really interesting feedback when I listen to people using these programs because they're not specifically for physical stuff. They're literally for the consciousness of who we are, right? And it's an amazing
Mhm.
thing to look at. So that's amazing. So this is for growing. What about bioenergetic? Oh, let me just shift this so we have the right one. So we can talk about it. Oh, here, this one. Oh, stop sharing. Why? You don't want to share. It says it doesn't want to share. No,
Is that
doesn't
for
want to
the
share.
bioenergetic defense programs?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So we have the general protection one. That's kind of like an
Mhm.
energetic shielding, I feel. Um, and you can even use it to protect yourself, like when you go out. It's protecting our field, the general protection one. That's how I feel that one works. Electrosensitivity. Now, some people are sensitive to it's called uh what is it called? Electrosmog. I think that's the term they use, and that's what we use that for. So when you're exposed to too much Wi-Fi or that kind of thing, TV, computers, that that kind of calms things down. It protects you there. Um, Cell harmony. Hmm, that one just helps our cells. Just I feel it protects them from anything around. Kind of revitalizes you too. The cell one, I feel. So that's a great one. Um, Mental for our mind. You know, sometimes our mind is a little bit too much going on, and I think that one definitely calms us down. I like to use that one for um, when just chaos is going on. So we help our mental balance there. And you know, sleeping is kind of self-explanatory. That helps us. Uh, Probably uses some delta frequencies. I use those for sleeping. Those really slow down the brain, and that helps you out there. So that one. Geopathy. Now we have things called you know, there's water lines, and sometimes they're around you. Uh, those type of things do have some interference. And if there's a water vein or something going on in your home, that affects the whole feng shui and things going on. So that's what geopathy is for. Um, the subtle one, that one, I'm not sure I can. It's how I can explain that one, but that one just makes me feel relaxed and like someone has your back. You know, I think you mentioned that. Um, Planets influence a lot. You know how we say Mars retrograde, those kind of things. So the planet balances you out with uh, during those times, and that's
Yeah.
how our bioenergy defense programs help us out um, when we need help.
So how do you feel like bioenergetic defense list of programs can help us with expanding our consciousness, or when we are expanding consciousness, how they can support us in the expansion? What is
Well,
your
you know, it's kind of a how it says defense or protection. It's protecting from all these outer influences and helps us to maybe be more focused or have that channel more open because if we don't have these interferences like I think you mentioned, then we're more clear and that we can receive our signal a lot stronger.
yeah,
And when that channel is open, you know, for me like 3 in the morning, it flows because I have no interference. I don't have my daughter. I don't have my wife. I don't.
yep,
The
I
chickens aren't. The
agree.
dogs aren't barking. I mean, all of that. So, in a way, when you use these protection and defense programs, it's blocking out all the interference and letting
Yes,
us
I feel the
become
same.
more connected. You know, also, I know in my programs, the last part of the program is I I send a little bit frequencies in higher vibration, which um, goes into the emotional body. And what that does is it kind of forms this bubble around you after you receive the physical body frequencies. I balance with the emotional body, and that forms this protective bubble around you. And I'm pretty sure Healy program because Nuno Nina, it does it that way. And I follow that protocol when I'm doing the programs, and that seals everything in your emotional body. So
Yeah.
that's how the programs work also.
I believe that because when I look at the subtle program, I feel like for me and my experiences, the things that sometimes we are not aware of, things that we suppress, and they start bubbling up when we have interactions with the environment and we are still not aware of it. So we are consciously not aware of it, but it's still influencing our environment. It's still influencing our relationships. It's still influencing our thoughts, right? And how we feel within the body. I feel when I actually have those things that are not coming up yet, so I'm not completely aware of them, I can run subtle program and all of a sudden things come up to the surface on the table and I can actually see them. So it's like
Mm.
balancing out the frequencies, the interferences, like you said, but also the chaos in between, the things that we don't see. And it's kind of blending them out and actually putting it out in the open. And I use planets a lot, for example, because I can feel influences of the
Mhm.
energies around in the universe um, quite intensely and normally during the night. So for me, I run planets either in the morning or in the afternoon before I go to bed if I feel the
Mhm.
influences and I feel like there's a lot of energy, tension, things like you said, Mars is retrograde, which we currently have, especially in Cancer, which he's not really happy with. So it's emotions. So it's really important to understand that even if we don't know and if we scan Healy and planets come up, just run the program because it's
Yeah.
sensing things around you, the things that we have that are influencing us, our behaviors, our thoughts, our emotions, our reactions and responses to the world. And these are actually helping to balance that. And when we balance that, what I found is we can then expand because we're not in contraction. Like we're not in contraction of always trying to fix and move and I don't want this and resistance here and resistance there, because we don't want to feel pain. Our brain doesn't want to feel pain. So it's really important to find balanced programs that are helping us move and shift that energy so we can actually go and expand and like you said, be in alignment, like full alignment. So you can be the 3 in the morning and actually be in a full on channel. If you're not
Exactly.
an out,
Yeah.
if you're not a night owl, that's okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Perfect. So what do
Yeah.
you feel like when we use frequencies and we look at the consciousness itself, right? What is the
Mhm.
purpose? Where do we want to get when we use frequency? Where do we want to get? What state of being do we want to achieve when we are trying to expand our consciousness?
I would say like almost a meditative state, you know. I like to think of it like that when we're fully balanced. I do something called Zazen, which is a form of meditation, and I got started with that. I'm actually the president of the Zazen group in our temple. So, but yeah, when you're in that state, it's all things can happen, and you're just there. So I like to say we want to get there for to get to our consciousness when we're using the programs. Yeah. And and again, it's always important to, give them directions too. Like you said, the subtle, you like to use that at that time. And other people will say, well, it helps me this way. See, it's their what they want to happen. So that is a big part of our intention. We just talked about that. So you use it
Yeah.
for that. Someone else might use it for a different thing. And it's same thing at the programs I have. So someone will tell me, oh, I use it for that. Oh, that's interesting because it's created for that, but you're using your intention and that's creating what you want. And there are frequencies that will go where you want it to go, you know.
And I
So
love
we
that.
we we control that. We can.
Isn't that interesting? We have a device that we put so much um, reliance on again right? Because our, like, this is my view. I feel this is like I'm sensing this in the, specifically now in transition of consciousness, from, Western world where we want a magic pill, yeah? And we were taught in society to have a magic pill. And now we're moving into the consciousness of the frequency, right? And now we need to be in the driver's seat. We need to be at the wheel of what is happening with that frequency within the body. And it's really interesting to me to observe people, because we are all learning. We need to learn, right? So we test things, we try things, and we then go, okay, we put all this power onto this device without actually taking responsibility of us being in a driver's seat and actually doing the
Mhm.
work. Because if we are just putting the responsibility on the device and not actually doing the work with intention, intentionally using that frequency for specific things that we want, nothing will shift and change. So this is a really, really good conversation for me, because I feel like we still feel we are so powerless. We still feel we are so powerless, where the expansion of consciousness is taking the power back and actually being the creator of our own life and using the tools in order to do that. Like, I don't know what your experience is with your clients and, with so many years of work in this area, but I would love to hear, how do you feel would be the right, not right, the best approach to actually expanding our consciousness in a aligned way,
In our lives. What was
in
that?
an aligned way, like being in alignment with ourselves. What would be the best way to actually expand our consciousness in your experiences? What do you feel is something that is actually beneficial and something that actually, for people to actually get results? And of course, depending on what the results are.
Well, I think the big thing is just for everybody to be themselves, you know, not wanting to do this and that, because that's interference already. We're trying to be something we're not. And when you become your true self, everything's easier. You don't have to try. And our right brain is our left brain tries to tell our right brain what to do, kind of thing. So if we just don't have to, it's almost like don't have to try, then everything is just so much better. I tell you, I tell people you have to turn off your brain because I'm a massage therapist too, and you can just feel it. You cannot stop thinking, please. Oh, how do you do that? So the secret is just to, be yourself and not have to think about what I need to be or I got to do this. Just every day, take take a deep breath and say, today's going to be a beautiful day. So we need to start off also with our jump start and have gratitude. That's the big thing. If we have gratitude, I think, and all positive thoughts. We got all this thing going on. I know we just had our election, and you got this Victorian and stuff. It's so hilarious for me. It's just it's like comical. I have my browser now. It just gives me what I want to search. I don't need to see all that stuff. So, but yeah, when we put positive thoughts out there, positive thoughts get back. I went to see a psychic when all my life was kind of going that way. And the biggest thing I got out of it was she said, your life's like a mirror. So whatever you put out comes back. And then I started going, oh, so when I stole that car stereo, my car stereo got stolen, or I broke into this house and then some stuff was missing from my place. I'm like, okay, that's how it works. So again, we project what we want to come back, and it's simple if we look at it that way. Mhm.
I
I
agree.
saw someone mention something about Healy being an intention generator. I call it that. That was I just saw real. Good. It is an intention generator, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes, I agree. And it is an intention
Mhm.
generator. Like, Jeffrey and I had this conversation the other day over Messenger, and intention, like as soon as we are in aligned state, when we are in coherence and we set an intention, it's like ripples out into the universe. Like we affect
Mhm.
everything around us and within us because it's a mirror. So it's a beautiful tool and an empowerment tool and a conscious tool to use in order to shift things around us. That's how I feel. And looking into the future, right? Because those of you that know me in astrology, something that it's my hobby and I like it. It gives me reflections onto things. And now, honestly, currently, right now, we are shifting huge, huge shifts in the world. Pluto is moving into the Aquarius, and we had Pluto. Pluto is an energy of transformation and inner power. Yeah, it's like a diamond in the rough that we are chiseling off. And we're moving into Aquarius, which is all about, technology, frequency, different way of communicating, different way of approaching things, as well as collective, which is the conscious collective, right? And it's all about the community and a different way of living and doing things and approaching things and all of that. And right now we are shifting. And when we move into it in the next year, we're going to see new innovations and things in this area, and we have the shadow and the light in everything we do. And it's really important, like having this conversation with you today, Derek, is consciousness. Yes, it's important what we put into it. Like you said, choose your thoughts, choose what you surround yourself with, choose who you surround yourself with, because that is influencing you, your way of being, your state of being, and your way of thinking and how you are actually seeing the world around you. So, looking into the future, I would love to know. This is a bit of a quirky question, more Aquarian. What do you see in the future as technology? Imagining what could it be and what could happen. What kind of technologies do you see that would actually help us enhance our consciousness?
Um, just gosh, just being I don't know if we need technology.
I love that.
That's kind of the part. I'm just trying to think what's an answer. We got all these devices, like you said, it's not like a microwave oven and you press it and bing, I got it. So yeah, now that we know about frequencies, about intentions, that's so powerful and that's not a device. So if we can connect to that and get rid of all this machines thinking that that's what's going to help us, we have it already.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love
That's
that.
my
I
answer
love
to
that.
that.
I love that. That's exactly what I really wanted to hear, is exactly
Okay,
us becoming Healys, right? Us becoming the time
our own
waver
self.
machines.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that's we
exactly.
need we need devices right now in transition while we are
Yeah.
expanding. This is my view, but I feel like, I don't know what's your view, but I do feel like now, right now, when we are in transition, we are still learning about this world. We are still learning about ourselves. We are still learning about how to use the frequency in the right way. And I feel like these devices are actually helping us learn about ourselves, learn about our bodies, learn about how we can use this and how we can become exactly that. Not as a machine, but fine tuned instruments. Yeah, that they can
Mhm.
actually work in a way that we are supposed to. So I don't know, what
Yeah.
is your view on that?
Well, that's right. These are like again, I said, the frequencies have their purpose, and if we're using the right ones to tune up our cells, then we're doing the right thing, and that's what Healy does. And I have frequency lists, and the Healy has them, and they have a specific thing, and when you use that frequency, you get the feedback. Oh, that's gone, or I feel better now. I release that. Yeah, I can breathe. I mean, all different things, right? So that's the
Definitely,
beauty of what the frequencies are doing for us now, and yeah,
definitely.
showing us. Hmm.
I have a class before we go to Q&A. If there's any questions, I would love you to give me, just if one takeaway. For example, if there was one key takeaway from today that you would like actually our beautiful viewers and anybody watching on a replay to understand about expanding consciousness with our frequency, either devices or ourselves, what would that be? One takeaway for people.
Just know it's possible. We have this block in our mind and or what we think it is. Um, just let it happen. And then it'll come. It's like the horse with the carrot in front of it. When you're trying to grab it, it's right in front of you. So if you don't try as hard, it comes. And it happens. I know, because I stopped chasing the carrot.
Yeah,
Mine
stop
was all
chasing the carrot.
these little pills or these other things, I was chasing it, but once I got rid of the carrot, it's there. It really is. And I live it. We adopted a little girl and back in 2019, she came into our lives, but all these little things that I want to happen happens. Um, that's just one little example, but she came into our life and we had our intention, both my wife and I, we're going to be parents and we're going to help another person out and they're going to help us out and they're going to have a beautiful life. She's wonderful. Her name's Makana. I got to name her. We and
Beautiful.
Makana means gift in Hawaiian. So
Oh, gorgeous. That is beautiful. That is really, she obviously is a gift for you and the family in the world. We are all gifts in its
mhm.
essence. Otherwise, we wouldn't exist. And it's beautiful to hear that. I agree. Stop chasing the carrot. Everybody write that down. Stop chasing the carrot. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you, Derek, for that. I will open up few questions so we don't keep Derek for too long because it is midnight at his place. So, Nitika, you have the floor. You can ask the question.
Hi, Derek. It's so nice to hear from you, and it was a beautiful conversation. I want to ask you that you said when you use reading, use your affirmations. So, with affirmations, I want to ask you one thing. Since you're from Hawaii, this thing has come in my mind. I heard about Ho'oponopono that originated from
Mhm.
Hawaii. That doctor used Ho'oponopono on all mental patients who were physical, who used to hate themselves and others. But he used Ho'oponopono for every patient, and eventually all those patients became normal. They went back to their homes and their hospitals got closed. So does Ho'oponopono also in tune the frequency and work as affirmation?
Yeah, Ho'oponopono is kind of what they did was they used it to get rid of everything that you don't need, kind of to empty your backpack every night before you went to sleep. So that's the symbol of what Ho'oponopono is. So, these people with these different conditions and stuff, they're just letting it out of their system. And it's working that way. Again, we're using our intentions and our that type of affirmations. So uh, that's how that was possible. That's how I can explain that. Because again, some of the programs I do, especially I have a whole Ponopono program, and what it is, it's intentions. It's the frequency of intentions. So
Yeah.
um, that's how it works. And I've gotten feedback, everything from physical things to mental traumas, all that releasing. That's how it works. Did that answer your
So
question?
you can use it as an affirmation, or you have to make your own affirmation.
Well, the program uh, has affirmations in there. Again, we need kind of to be in the driver's seat too, or the at least giving the frequencies. I tell people we give the frequencies direction, and that gives it the power to do what it needs to do. Otherwise, it doesn't know. Um, so I do provide affirmations with I got to say all the programs I create. So I give you some just to get you kick-started. So again, it's important to get the subconscious mind on board because that helps manifest into our reality.
So Healy in itself, it's such a powerful gadget or whatever you can say. It's so powerful. So when we use affirmations, then you make it 4x or 10x or I don't know how many times much more powerful, right? That's what you mean.
Yes, they do. And I want to say, maybe Healy is a vehicle. And once you can do that, um, you don't need your Healy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Nitika. I have a question here in the chat. Let me just lower the hand. So, what is your take on this? So before I put, so when we are using intentions, are we running, so when we use intention, when we're running any programs like pink apps and blue apps, do we set an intention only at the start of the program or intermittently think about the intention? And can you share an example how you will go about setting the intention when you're running a program?
Yeah, so it's good. Like I have one that I say it's good to do it, maybe a program during the bedtime. They're all different, but this one example was do it before you go to sleep. And that way it's running with you throughout the night. And then, it's a vibration. So it's like almost like ringing a bell, bing. And if you wanted to keep on going, just keep the affirmation going, and that gets the bell ringing again. Uh, that's all I can say about affirmation. So get it started, bing, and then you want to keep it going, keep repeating it. So that bell keeps going until
Yeah.
you're happy. And I tell people use the programs till you're satisfied. That's how I explain it. Because some people use it once and they go, wow. And other people, have to use it a couple times and then they use it regularly. And some people use them every day. I get all kind of different responses because
Yeah.
I guess I've been doing it for a while and there's a lot of programs out there. So I do have a lot of feedback.
Yeah, definitely. Deb, just to add on that as well, like the way I do it, if I go into meditation and I run aura programs, and Derek can add on this, but if I run an aura program and I vibrate to myself, I would vibrate for, I don't know, 2 minutes, 6 minutes, and I would do like a short meditation and I would actually visualize my outcome and set an intention strongly. If I would use a pink app program, for example, I don't know, let's say gold cycle balance, right? So what I would like this gold cycle balance to do is help me balance either hormones, emotions, moods, whatever that is in that moment. And I would set an intention when I would actually press play with that program, which is normally around 50 minutes. I would set an intention at the beginning. And while my program is running, every once in a while, I would, during that program, I would just check in with myself and actually just activate, like Derek said, that ding, right? That bell to actually come back to myself and be in present moment and actually just use the frequencies that are moving through the body. So it's not like we are running a Healy, press play and set and forget. Yeah. So this is like literally a disconnection from the frequencies that you're running in your physical and emotional energetic body. So we need to kind of start the synergy between the Healy that we have on the body as well as the intentions. So make sure that you just have this snaps of your intentions while you're running the program. Don't feel like if you don't do it 5 times in the middle of the program that that's not going to work. Yeah. Make sure that you check in with your body. So as long as you check in with your body and you become present and you think of that intention, you are connecting with those frequencies. This is my experience and my view. But Derek will, of course, add on that as well. If you have anything to add on that, Derek.
You hit it on the nail. Yeah. Again, it's really important. When I started saying, oh, this is what I need, or this. Well, it's more like your intention to what you want to happen. And it started happening. I just went, wow, this is magic. And now it happens quicker. It does.
Yeah.
Before it took a little while. So because you're kind of not sure. And another thing I want to say, any doubt that you have is an off switch. It'll just shut everything down. So if you're going, well, I think that there's your off switch, and you just shut everything off. So you have to be all in. It's like full, I'm all in this. And then it works. It's more powerful that way. So
Yeah,
no doubt.
I agree. Completely agree with
Mhm,
that. 100%.
mhm,
And I think it's not so much, does Healy work or not? Healy does work because there's frequencies in there. It's more about, are we getting in our own way? And how are we getting in our own way? And actually, are we sabotaging our own health or expansion, or are we actually contributing to our expansion? So I feel like this is where we come into a driver's seat. So well said. Thank you, Derek. Okay, and one question, last question, and then I'll let you go, Derek, because it's literally tomorrow in your place. Usha.
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah,
can you hear us?
I'm from
Hello,
Mumbai.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. I
thank.
enjoyed the session very much. Petra is always good. And with you, it was like icing on the cake. Yeah, we're already in this path,
Uh-huh.
but still long way to go. But like I want to say to everybody more that I had seen one of the session of Marcus Sir, and in that, what he said, he had kept his Healy beside. He said, only keeping the Healy beside me also gives me the power, the frequency. So it's so
Mhm.
true. Yes, that day will come for everybody of us also, no? And we are waiting for that day. And we have to purify ourselves to be that someday. That is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Definitely,
Yeah.
completely agree.
We are so blessed, Petra. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha. Thank you for being here and connecting with us, and thank you for sharing.
Yes, I just felt so.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Derek, for joining me
Okay.
tonight. I am honestly blessed and honored for you to join us and take this time across 2 days to
Yeah.
actually come and join us and share your knowledge and experiences. And my biggest takeaway today is, of course, do not follow the carrot. Keep, don't stop trying. Surrender to the space
Mhm.
and trust yourself and become the frequency that you want to be, and do not put your power to everything else. Use your tools to learn who you are and how powerful you truly are. And thank you, Derek, for everything, for your heart, for your knowledge, for your sharing. I am truly blessed for having you here. And of course, thank you everyone tonight for joining us, listening in, sharing your time and space with me and Derek tonight. I'm always honored, literally a year and a half in this, and I keep seeing you every week, and this just makes my heart sing. So thank you, Derek. Have a beautiful night. Everyone, thank you for joining, and I'll be seeing you next Thursday. We are diving deep to another topic, content. My brain's not working anymore. Have a great night. Enjoy your day and see you soon. Thanks, Derek. Bye.
Aloha.
Aloha.